Cool. Great. So then you joined the cross country team. That sounds awesome.
Yes, that was like the pivotal moment in my high school career. Really, like I was still kind of my high school self, ninth and most of 10th grade. But really big time was like what I mentioned about my friend David, who I'd kind of become estranged to, reaching out to me saying, hey, I want to join the cross country team. I was wondering if you want to practice with me. So at first I was kind of like, but then I was like, you know what? I've been playing video games for the last the last 10 summers of my life.
Yeah.
Why don't I just do something this summer?
Were you still kind of like husky at this point, bigger guy, or?
I was, yeah, I was still chubby at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those first few practices, I remember just being hell, dude. We went to the high school track and one lap around, so a quarter mile, I was toast. Like I was dead. Wow. Yeah, like gassed. And I just remember like Kenneth, God bless him, just never giving up on me, like teaching me having so much patience with like a fat kid learning to run and stuff. And yeah, really just taught me the value of investing in yourself, right? And like working towards a long-term goal. Like I had never done that before because I always kind of coasted in middle school and early high school on the fact that I think I'm just, I'm naturally, I'd say above average in intelligence.
You're a smart guy. No, yeah, you can definitely tell.
Yeah, so I just, at any test that was handed me, I'm like, yeah, I can just take this and get like an 85, 90 and I'm fine.
Right.
It's whatever. So I never had, and my parents were pretty hands off in terms of parenting. So I didn't like have the discipline that I should have. And that really like helped me build things that are hard take work. Like they take real time to develop. Right. So that was a big experience for me. And you can completely tell if you look at I still have all of my IDs from high school. And if you look at my 10th grade versus my 11th grade ID, it's an entirely different person. Like cool. I didn't really lose weight, but I got taller, thinner, leaner, like literally like it boosted my confidence so much. It like taught me a real discipline and aiming for goals and stuff that are hard.
Yeah.
Like the best thing that could have happened to me.
That's extraordinary. And just to even add on to that, I feel it's weird. I feel like our experiences are very, very similar, but yeah, that's super cool. I feel like one thing that I never realized, that took me a long time to learn. It's like, that you learn from doing something like that is that it doesn't really matter how hard you can work in one day. I mean, that's huge, right? How much can you get done in one day? But really what's important in actually accomplishing something or like affecting real change to your body or to doing like building a business or something is like, what can you do every day, right? Like how can you consistently put this into your routine to like make incremental progress onto the next thing. And I think sports are huge, or like those like personal training sports, right? I did cross country and running in like middle school. I never did it in high school. I swam in high school. I sucked at swimming.
I swam too.
Yeah, really? Good stuff. But yeah, it's like, that's when you begin to realize it's like, okay, cool. If I do this a little bit every day, like, I can get better at it. And eventually you get exponentially better, because especially with swimming's weird because it's like there's these little weird techniques that if you do them right, then you can get way better way faster. But if you don't know about them, then I don't know. So it's like incremental growth, but then suddenly it's exponential growth once you actually like understand the techniques and stuff. Anyway, cool. I think that's awesome. Great. You were fixing your grades and taking AP classes. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, so I remember every kid has like a meeting at the end of 10th grade so our school doesn't offer APs until you're in 11th or 12th grade, because small school, I think we only had 7 AP classes total.
Yeah.
And like AP US history, AP lit and language, AP biology, and a few others. But those are the main ones I took. Maybe I took one more. But yeah, I remember like sitting down with my advisor, and you have this meeting at the end of 10th grade where they're like, hey, are you going to take AP classes or not? And basically like my advisor is like, look, Jake, like you don't have the grades to really take AP classes. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, but like, look at my test scores. And she's like, that's true. Like you definitely got like the test scores to back it up. But like, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm like, listen, just like, I basically was like, just give me a chance. Like I can do this. Trust me. Like it was a big moment for me of like, okay, like now I'm in like the big boy classes. I need to like step it up a little bit.
Man up.
And it was hard. It was hard at first. I remember I got like a 60 my first 2 quarters of AP US history, and my teacher, who's also my cross country coach, he was like, "Hey, look, like I know like you're putting in the work in cross country and stuff. I know you're capable of this. Like I've talked with you on a daily basis, so like just step it up a little bit." And yeah, shout out to Mr. Glass. He's cool dude. But yeah, I remember like, I decided you're right. You need to start putting in the work, and I did, and I got a decent score on the AP exam, got my credits for college, which was awesome. And yeah, that was a big thing for me too. Like, just kind of realizing like what I'm interested in too. So a big part of that was just the people that never, like, I guess what I always needed was like teachers that didn't give up on me, right? Like a lot of teachers, because I was a bad kid, would just give up on me, right? Like they'd be like, "Oh, this kid's a troublemaker, forget about him. Let's just focus on the kids who behave," which honestly, like perfectly reasonable. Like no one should force them to go above and beyond, right? Like if they don't want to, but a big shout out to the ones that did. Like my French teacher, Miss Wilcox, she was fantastic, super sweet, always like was there to help me out. And I didn't do well in her classes, but she was always like, always gave me a chance, always wanted to see what I could do, and told me like, you're so smart. Like if you just like sat down and focus, you could do great things. And who really brought it home for me was like my engineering teacher, because I always really liked math and science. Even like in sixth grade, I knew that I really wanted to get into like math and science.
Mm-hmm.
And my engineering teacher in eighth grade, Mr. Hanley, he's a no nonsense kind of, he's a fun guy. Like I remember if you were talking in his class while he was talking, he had rubber bands, he'd snap you with a rubber band, like that kind of a teacher. Oh, cool. He's great, super funny guy. And always stayed to the last possible hour after school, helping kids out. Like cool. Great dude. And he really taught me like, hey, if you want to do well at this, like your intelligence just isn't going to take you all the way. Like you need to actually apply yourself and stuff. And he was a big motivation in changing my ways a little bit. So yeah, just all I needed was like people that didn't give up on me. So now that when I see kids acting like that, I like, a lot of people would just be like, "Oh, they're just a bad kid." But for me, I'm like, maybe they're looking for someone to help them out.
Right. Yeah, no, cool. That's awesome. Cool.